What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. It is a beautiful, beautiful Florida afternoon here, and I thought I would take a moment to talk about this beauty here and how to grow it and what it is. This is a Sarracenia Psittacina. It also is known as the parrot pitcher plant, and it gets its name because somebody thought they look like little parrot beaks, and they kind of resemble that. This is of course, a Sarracenia, but it differs in a lot of ways, and mainly the way it differs is that it likes very, very wet conditions. Now, most of the time with Sarracenia, you want to keep them in a quarter of up the pot of water. In this case, they like to be very wet. Now, you don't have to keep them this wet, but I tend to, and they are not as susceptible to anaerobic conditions. These grow native to Florida, and this is an Okeefenokeensis, and so they tend to grow in very waterlogged conditions, sometimes even on floating mats on rivers, and so they will also send their roots down through the water, so they like to be very wet, and that is why this one is growing like it is. They are a later growing pitcher plant, so while some of the other pitcher plants are already not going dormant, but sort of settling down for the year, this one is just starting to take off. Now, as far as food goes, they will catch insects, mainly ground-dwelling insects like ants, but they also have a very cool way of catching prey, and that is that they can catch fish, or even tadpoles in this case. Because they sit in such high water lines, these pitchers will actually dip down into the water, where they will catch aquatic, either amoebas or even vertebrates like fish and tadpoles. Now, it's a little hard to see, but I got one that happens to be open that I'll show you. They have a little opening here. Here's a broken one that I will show you. And what happens is you can see that right there in the middle of it, that's the outside of the inside hole. And so what will happen is that fish or bug will crawl in there, and then it starts to crawl down the pitcher. And see these little venations, these little windows? Those are going to try to trick the bug or vertebrate into trying to get out that way and slowly go down the pitcher. Now, inside of here are some backward facing hairs, much like other pitcher plants. And as the insect or fish swim or walk down, they get trapped and they go further and further down where the digestive juices do their thing. The backwards facing hairs keeps them from being able to get back out. Now, as far as water, they're going to want rainwater and or distilled water or reverse osmosis water. I tend to keep them in a separate pot here because of the high water mark. And so I have found this to be very, very useful. You can let it dry out, relatively speaking. So with these, you want the water line to get maybe halfway down the pot. You can potentially go lower than that, but I have found that much lower than that, and you're going to get the plant is going to start to show signs of stress. They are difficult to divide. They can be divided, of course, but I tend to just want to up pot them and to give them a larger pot to grow in. You can fertilize them with Max C, but honestly, they're going to do just fine and be able to catch prey as long as you're growing them outside. If you grow them inside, you are going to want to use a quarter strength Max C to fertilize them. Let's see what else I can tell you about them. Now, this is the Okeefenokeensis version, so it is much larger. There is another version that does not grow as large, but this one, most of the Okeefenokeensis ones grow larger. There's this one and then one other type, and most of those, both of those pitcher plants grow larger in size. It will go dormant just like any other pitcher plant, and so all these beautiful red pitchers here will turn brown, but that's okay. It's just going through its life cycle, or its phases rather, and it'll come back nice and fresh in the spring. You can cut the pitchers back if you would like. I don't necessarily see a need for it, but if you want it to look cleaner and or have more room, you can do so just like any other pitcher plant. It can be hybridized, just like this one over here on the side, as you can see. It can be grown just like any other pitcher plant and be hybridized. This one is an anthro-free with mixed in with a couple of other things. It's open pollinated, so who knows what's all in there. But yeah, this is again Sarracenia Psittacina. It does like very, very, very bright light, just like any other Sarracenia. And I've got it growing out here south facing in a very hot Florida summer, and it loves every bit of this. Again, it is indigenous to Florida, and so it is used to those very bright light and very hot. Because it grows in deeper water, it can take a lot of heat and do just fine. But I highly recommend this to any growers. I know they don't get as much love because they are not those big tall leucophyllus and oreophilas that have the beautiful colors, but in my opinion they are every bit as beautiful, if not more, and very, very unique in their growing and catching style. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and as always, have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.